Your GMC is acting up, and you are probably about to schedule a service appointment that will cost you $150 to $300 just for diagnostics. But here is what dealerships and shops do not want you to know. Most common GMC problems can be fixed with simple reset procedures that take 30 seconds to 5 minutes and cost you absolutely nothing. I have been wrenching on GMCs for over 20 years, and I cannot tell you how many times I have seen customers pay for diagnostics when a basic reset would have solved the problem for free. Here's the thing. Modern GMC trucks are computers on wheels. Everything from your transmission to your infotainment system runs on software, and software occasionally glitches. When that happens, the system just needs a reboot, like your phone or laptop when it starts acting weird. Today, I am going to show you 12 reset procedures that fix the most common GMC problems without costing you a dime. Some of these are buried in menus most people never find. Others require specific button combinations. And if you stick around until number 1, I am going to show you the most powerful reset that solves problems nothing else can touch. Let's get into it. Number 12. Power Window Reset. Your power windows have stopped auto up or auto down, or maybe they are acting weird when you try to use the one-touch feature. This happens when the window control module loses its position memory, usually after battery replacement, or if someone held the switch while the window was obstructed. Here is the fix, and it takes about 30 seconds per window. Roll the window all the way down using the switch. Once it is fully down, keep holding the switch down for an additional 5 seconds. This teaches the module where the bottom position is. Then roll the window all the way up and hold the switch up for 5 seconds after it reaches the top. This teaches the top position. I have done this reset probably 100 times after battery replacements, or when customers complain their auto up stopped working. Takes no special tools, costs nothing, and the windows work perfectly afterward. If you skip this step after a battery replacement, the windows will still go up and down, but you lose the one-touch convenience feature. The module needs to know the exact travel limits to prevent damage if something gets caught in the window. Without the reset, it does not know where to stop, so it disables the auto feature as a safety precaution. I have had customers come in complaining their windows are broken after they replaced the battery themselves, and all they needed was this 30-second reset per window. Some people do not even realize the one-touch feature is missing until weeks later when they go to use it and have to hold the switch the whole way up. The anti-pinch safety feature also relies on the position memory. The module needs to know how much resistance is normal versus when something is actually caught in the window. If the window starts acting erratic or reversing randomly when you try to close it, that usually means the position memory is corrupted and needs relearning. I always make sure to reset all 4 windows after any electrical work that might have cleared the module's memory, not just battery replacement. On some GMC models, disconnecting certain fuses or having a complete electrical failure can wipe the window memory just like a battery disconnect does. If one window is giving you trouble but the others work fine, you only need to reset that specific window. The others will retain their programming unless they got cleared too. The module needs to know the exact travel limits to prevent damage if something gets caught in the window. Without the reset, it does not know where to stop, so it disables the auto feature as a safety precaution. Repeat this for all 4 windows if needed. Once you do it, the feature stays programmed until something resets the system again. Number 11. Steering Angle Sensor Reset. If you have got stability control warnings, traction control lights, or service StabiliTrak messages after getting an alignment, the problem is usually a steering angle sensor that needs recalibration. This sensor tells the computer where your wheels are pointed, and when you get an alignment, the relationship between steering wheel position and wheel position can change slightly. The reset is simple. Start the engine and let it idle. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left until it stops. Hold it there for a couple seconds. Then turn it all the way to the right until it stops and hold it there. Finally, center the steering wheel and drive straight for about 50 feet. This teaches the sensor where the center is and what the full range of motion is. I have cleared dozens of StabiliTrak warnings with this exact procedure. Shops will charge you $100 to $150 to do this with a scan tool, but the manual reset works just as well in most cases. If the warning light comes back, you might have an actual sensor failure that needs diagnosis. but 9 times out of 10, the sensor is fine and just needed recalibration after the alignment changed the geometry slightly. Try this free reset before you pay for diagnostics. Number 10. HVAC reset. Your climate control is acting weird. Maybe the blower speed is wrong, temperature is inconsistent, or it is stuck on one setting. Before you assume you need a new blend door actuator or blower motor resistor, try this reset. Hold down both the front defrost button and the rear defrost button simultaneously for about 10 seconds. You will see the HVAC display go through a reset sequence, sometimes flashing or going blank briefly. This forces the climate control module to restart and recalibrate. I have fixed stuck blend doors, erratic blower speeds, and temperature control issues with this reset more times than I can count. Sometimes the actuators get confused about their position and just need to be told to find home again. The reset makes them go through their full range of motion and relearn their positions. You will actually hear the actuators clicking and whirring behind the dash as they cycle through their calibration routine. That is normal and means the reset is working. I had a customer last month convinced his blend door actuator was dead because the driver's side blew cold while the passenger side blew hot, and the reset fixed it instantly without replacing anything. The HVAC module controls multiple actuators for temperature, airflow direction, and recirculation, and any one of them can get out of sync with what the module thinks it should be doing. Sometimes a voltage drop or electrical glitch during startup can confuse the module about actuator positions, and the reset clears that confusion. If you hear constant clicking from behind the dash even after the reset, then you probably do have a failed actuator that needs replacement. This reset works on dual-zone climate systems too, and it recalibrates both zones simultaneously when you do it. If the problem comes back immediately, you probably do have a failed actuator or other hardware issue. But if the reset fixes it and it stays fixed, you just saved yourself $200 to $500 in blend door actuator replacement. Those actuators are buried behind the dash and take hours of labor to replace, so avoiding that job is a big win. Number 9. OnStar and connectivity reset. Your OnStar is not working, GPS is lost, Wi-Fi hotspot is down, or the My GMC app cannot connect to your truck. Before you call OnStar support and spend 30 minutes on hold, try this reset. Press and hold the blue OnStar button for about 15 seconds. You will hear the system acknowledge and restart. This reboots the telematics module that handles all your connectivity features. I have seen this fix GPS problems, Wi-Fi issues, and app sync failures countless times. The telematics module is basically a computer with a cellular modem. Like any computer, it can glitch and need a reboot. Holding the OnStar button forces that reboot without needing any special tools or dealer intervention. If you have got a GMC with Wi-Fi hotspot and it stops working, try this reset before you assume the antenna is bad or the subscription lapsed. 9 times out of 10, the module just needed a kick in the pants. After the reset, give it a few minutes to reconnect to the cellular network and GPS satellites, then test your features. Number 8. Infotainment factory reset. When your infotainment system has persistent bugs that keep coming back even after soft resets, it is time for the nuclear option, a factory reset. This wipes all your settings, saved destinations, and paired devices, returning the system to how it was when the truck was new. Go into Settings, then System, then look for Return to Factory Settings or Master Reset, depending on your model year. Confirm the reset and let it do its thing. This will take a couple minutes and the screen might go black during the process. I recommend this when customers have chronic Bluetooth pairing issues, navigation that constantly freezes, or Android Auto/CarPlay that will not connect reliably. The factory reset clears out corrupted data that can accumulate over months or years of use. Before you do this, write down any important settings or saved locations you want to remember. You will have to repair your phone, re-enter Wi-Fi passwords, and reconfigure your preferences. But if the system has been driving you crazy with bugs, it is worth the hassle to get a clean slate. After the reset, sometimes the bugs were fixed in newer versions, and the factory reset plus update combination solves problems that neither one alone could fix. Number 7. Check engine light reset. Your check engine light is on, and you are worried it is something expensive. Before you panic, understand that sometimes the light comes on for minor issues that have already resolved themselves, like a loose gas cap or a temporary sensor glitch. Try the ignition cycle method first. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine. Wait 10 seconds, then turn it off. Repeat this 3 times. On the 4th time, start the engine. This can clear minor codes that are not active anymore. If that does not work, disconnect the negative battery terminal for about 10 minutes. This forces a complete ECU reset that will clear codes from memory. Just know that this will also clear your radio presets and potentially other settings. I have cleared countless check engine lights this way when the issue was something like a temporary evap system leak from not tightening the gas cap properly. The code sets, the light comes on. But by the time you see it, the problem is already fixed. The light just needs clearing. However, if the light comes back immediately or within a few drive cycles, you have got an actual problem that needs diagnosis. Do not keep resetting a light that keeps coming back. That is telling you something genuinely needs fixing. But for one-time codes from transient issues, these resets save you a trip to the shop. Number 6. TPMS reset. You rotated your tires or adjusted pressures, and now the tire pressure monitoring system is showing the wrong positions or the warning light is on. Your GMC can relearn the sensor positions without any shop visit. Go into your infotainment menu, then Vehicle Settings, then Tire Pressure. Look for the option to relearn or reset sensors. Follow the prompts, which usually involve confirming you want to start the relearn process. Then drive for a few miles and the system will figure out which sensor is in which position. Some older GMCs require you to let air out of each tire in a specific sequence to trigger the relearn, but most newer ones do it automatically through the menu. I have done this after every tire rotation on my own truck for years. Saves me from paying the tire shop an extra $20 to do something I can do myself in 30 seconds. If a sensor is actually dead and needs replacement, the relearn will not fix that. You will still get a warning. But if the sensors are working and just confused about their positions, this reset solves it instantly. Make sure your tire pressures are correct before you start the relearn. The system is calibrating based on the pressures it sees, so if one tire is low, it will think that is normal for that position. Number 5. Transmission adaptive reset. Your transmission is shifting weird, maybe rough, delayed, or slipping between gears. Before you assume you need a $3,000 rebuild, try resetting the adaptive shift tables. Turn the ignition to on without starting the engine. Press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and hold it there for 30 seconds. Then release the pedal, wait a few seconds, and start the engine normally. This forces the transmission control module to forget its learned shift patterns and start fresh. Over time, the transmission learns your driving style and adjusts shift points accordingly. Sometimes this learning gets corrupted or just ends up in a weird place that causes harsh shifts or other issues. I have fixed countless transmission complaints with this reset. The customer comes in convinced they need major work. I do the reset, and the transmission shifts perfectly afterward. The adaptive tables just needed clearing. Drive gently for the first 20 to 30 miles after the reset. The transmission is relearning during this period, and aggressive driving can teach it bad habits. Let it learn smooth shifts first, then drive normally after it is adapted. If the transmission keeps acting up after the reset and relearning period, you probably do have a hardware issue that needs proper diagnosis. But try this free reset first before you spend money on transmission work. Number 4. Instrument cluster reset. Your dashboard is acting weird, gauges stuck, warning lights that should not be on, or a display showing incorrect information. The instrument cluster is another computer that can glitch and need resetting. The reset procedure varies by model year, but a common one is to hold down the trip odometer reset button while turning the ignition to on. Keep holding the button until you see the cluster go through a self-test sequence where all the needles sweep and all the warning lights flash. I have cleared phantom warnings, fixed stuck fuel gauges, and resolved speedometer glitches with this reset. Sometimes the cluster just gets confused and needs to be reminded what reality looks like. On some models, you might need to turn the ignition on and off in a specific sequence while holding certain buttons. Check your owner's manual or search online for your specific year and model if the trip button method does not work. After the reset, the cluster should return to normal operation. If warning lights come back on for systems that are actually faulty, those are real problems. But if they stay off, the cluster just needed clearing. Number 3. Hard reset with battery disconnect. When software resets are not cutting it, the hard reset, disconnecting the battery, forces everything to restart from scratch. This clears the ECU memory, resets all modules, and can fix stubborn issues that nothing else touches. Disconnect the negative battery terminal and leave it off for 10 to 15 minutes. This gives all the capacitors time to fully discharge and ensures a complete reset. Then reconnect and start the engine. I use this reset for random warning lights that come and go, sensors that seem stuck, and weird electrical behavior that does not point to any specific failed component. The hard reset often clears these gremlins. The downside is you lose radio presets, clock settings, and potentially some learned parameters like idle speed and transmission adaptives. You might also need to reset Windows and perform other relearns. But when you are chasing an electrical ghost that is driving you crazy, the hard reset is worth the minor inconvenience. I had a customer with a 2016 Sierra that kept throwing random warnings for systems that tested fine. ABS light, StabiliTrak light, service brake assist, all intermittent and unpredictable. Did a battery disconnect reset and the warnings never came back. The ECU just had some corrupted data that needed clearing. Number 2. Infotainment soft reset. Your infotainment screen is frozen, Bluetooth will not connect, navigation is glitched, or CarPlay/Android Auto stopped working. Before you assume the head unit is fried, try a soft reset. Hold down the power button on the infotainment system for about 10 seconds. On some models, it is a physical button. On others, it is a spot on the touchscreen. The screen will go black, then reboot with the GMC logo. This is the reset I recommend most often because infotainment glitches are probably the most common complaint I hear. The system gets overwhelmed, runs out of memory, or just gets confused from too many apps and features running at once. I have fixed frozen screens, Bluetooth that would not pair, navigation that crashed constantly, and backup camera displays that went black using this exact reset. It is the first thing you should try before you waste time troubleshooting or pay for diagnostics. If the problem comes back every few days, you might have a deeper software issue that needs an actual update or, in rare cases, a failing head unit. But most of the time, the soft reset fixes it and the system runs fine afterward. Think of it like restarting your phone when it gets laggy. You are not fixing anything broken. You are just clearing out the cobwebs and giving the system a fresh start. I do this to my own truck probably once every few months just to keep things running smooth. Number 1. Battery management reset. This is the most important reset procedure most GMC owners do not know about, and skipping it after a battery replacement causes all kinds of weird problems. When you install a new battery, the ECU needs to relearn the battery's characteristics to manage charging properly. After replacing the battery, turn the ignition to on without starting the engine. Leave it in this position for 2 full minutes without touching anything. Then turn it off. Wait 10 seconds and start the engine normally. This allows the ECU to measure the new battery's voltage, internal resistance, and charge acceptance rate. Without this reset, the alternator might overcharge or undercharge because the computer is still using the old battery's parameters. I have seen new batteries fail prematurely because the owner skipped this reset and the charging system cooked them. I have also seen false low voltage warnings, electrical glitches, and charging system lights that were all caused by the ECU not recognizing the new battery properly. Some GM vehicles do this automatically over the first few drive cycles, but manually forcing the reset ensures it happens right away. It takes 2 minutes and prevents a bunch of potential problems down the road. I do this reset on every battery I install, whether it is my truck or a customer's. It is basic preventive practice that avoids comebacks and ensures the charging system works correctly from day one with the new battery. The battery management system in modern GMC trucks is sophisticated. It adjusts charging voltage based on battery age, temperature, and state of charge to maximize battery life, but it can only do that if it knows what battery it is working with. The reset teaches it those parameters. These 12 reset procedures fix the majority of common GMC problems without costing you anything beyond a few minutes of time. Infotainment soft resets, hard resets with battery disconnect, cluster resets, transmission adaptive resets, TPMS relearns, check engine light clearing, factory resets, OnStar resets, HVAC resets, window resets, steering angle resets, and battery management resets. All of them are tools you can use at home without special equipment. I have been working on GMCs for over 20 years, and these resets solve probably 60 to 70% of the weird issues customers bring in. Before you pay $150 for diagnostics or assume something expensive is broken, try the appropriate reset for your symptom. Your GMC is a sophisticated machine, but it is still just software and electronics that occasionally need a reboot. Learn these procedures, use them when problems pop up, and you will save yourself hundreds or thousands in unnecessary shop visits over the life of your truck. Keep this guide handy, screenshot it, bookmark it, whatever works for you. Next time your truck acts up, run through these resets before you panic. Chances are, you will fix the problem for free and be back on the road in minutes.